Hi everyone, it's your girl Candace, just gearing up to do a bit of a long message. I don't know how long it's gonna be, I'm just recording it right now, but bear with me and bear with my cough. Bless Jehovah. Anyways, yeah, I felt the need to do this message, and by chance it's my mother's birthday. By chance, by plan, by divine design. Happy birthday, Mom, first and foremost. I love you so much. Thank you for always being there and being the example of a godly woman that I want to be like when I grow up. Anyways, yeah, so I just wanted to share a testimony of how good God has been, and share not only just the good things but the bad things, because I do believe that the Lord is prompting me to do this video, and he has been for a little while, and it's finally time. I believe I'm ready to do it. I woke up this morning and I was like, today's the day. So here we go. About 2.5 years ago, I sat here in this very seat and recorded a message about the goodness of God and how he delivered me from stage 2 breast cancer. And I shared, from my heart at that point. I felt the Lord was just prompting me to do that, because if it were up to me, I would never tell you guys. Oh, not because I'm embarrassed or shy about it. I'm not. I'm actually very happy that it's a part of my testimony, and I described it as the best, worst thing that ever happened to me. So it was more so fear of being vulnerable, to be honest with you. That is something that has gripped me like nothing, because, everyone looks at me and they're like, oh, you're so strong. And I'm like, girl, guy, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm actually just trying to get through whatever it is I'm trying to get through. And there's no use in complaining about it because nobody listens anyways. I'm just joking. But no, there's a fear there associated with being vulnerable, and fear that people will see me as weak if I share what's truly going on with me. But the Lord, I love him and I trust him, and I'm gonna pursue him regardless of what I feel. So here goes. So I've had a cough for about 3 years or so. I had the flu, and a really bad one time, like 3 years ago, and I had this cough that just never left. And when I talked to my doctor about it, my doctor was like, "It's no problem. Usually the cough is the last thing to go." But here I was like, "Okay, fine, cool, no problem." So I ended up just, adapting my life around this cough, which means like I learned how to disrupt it when it was happening. I would just walk with a whole bag of candy, and my mom thinks like I'm this crazy lady with all these bags of candy, that I was just like pop, or I always have like Halls on me or something, to kind of deal with the phlegm that's in my throat. So that was one of the things that have been happening. So yeah, that was real for the past 3 years. And then once COVID hit, I was going back to work and I noticed that my cough was getting worse, because they were cleaning at my workplace with hydrogen peroxide, and I just noticed that I was just coughing so much more when I was there. But I just kind of once again learned how to adapt. This year it got progressively worse as things were changing, life was happening, everything was going on. And yeah, it was just more noticeable to me. And of course I had COVID tests, and of course they were negative and stuff like that. And I was just like, all right, then let's just keep rocking with it. It wasn't until about June, and this year was the highest stress year. Like I was stressed, and that will be a whole other video as I continue to go through the different stages of stuff that has been happening for the past like year or so. But about 2 months ago, almost, went to church. I wasn't feeling that great that morning, but I was like, I'm gonna go because, of course, I'm on the worship team. So I was like, let me just go praise my God and do what I need to do. And we had practice for like 45 minutes before, and then we had service. So I went down to get a new mask because at that point my mask was wet that I was wearing. So, you learn how to like walk with multiple masks to sing, right? So we did. I went down, got a new mask, came back up on stage, and for some reason I couldn't catch my breath. And let me back up 2 months before that. They sent me to do some tests because of the cough. Hashtag not COVID. But yeah, they sent me to do the x-ray, the first one. It came back and they said that I have pneumonia. So my doctor gave me antibiotics. I was like, okay, cool. Went and did a second x-ray, and my doctor called me and said that that my lungs are actually looking worse than before. So they treated me with another antibiotics, and my doctor was waiting for my doctor had sent a referral for me to do a CT scan because she's like, there's something going on, we need to figure this out. But as I was waiting and doing my stuff, comes this time period where, I was at church, and then I was just like up on stage. Once I got back up there, I was like, I can't catch my breath. All of a sudden I started feeling really dizzy, and I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna faint. And that has like never, ever, ever happened to me before, where I felt like I was going to pass out. So I knelt down immediately because I was trying to send a text message to my worship leader to let her know that I wasn't feeling well, but I couldn't because everything was just spinning too much. So I just knelt down before I fell down. Kneel down before you fall down. That's how it's rolling, right? So I had knelt down, and eventually my worship leader was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, something's wrong. Like, I just don't feel well. I can't catch my breath. So then one of my fathers at church, he came up on stage and he's like, are you okay? And I was like, I think I just need to sit down. So they got me a chair, and then my father's like, no, you're coming off stage. We're going to figure this out. So as I was coming down the stage and I was getting help, I just blacked out. I passed out, and I was out for 2 minutes. And so they called the ambulance, and the ambulance came and got me. I came to like shortly after or whatever. And they took me to the hospital. My mom came because my car was at church, so she had to come down with my cousin to get my car back home, and she went to the hospital with me. And well, she didn't go with me because they're not allowing people in the ambulance, but she had like my stepdad drive her to the hospital. And I was sitting in the room, and they're like, I saw your x-rays. The doctor came in and was like, I saw your x-rays, and he's like, that doesn't look like pneumonia. So we want to do a CT scan on you right now. So by the time my mom came, and she was like, okay, so I went and did my CT scan, and I came back. And what happened was, once he came back into the room, he said, I don't know how to tell you this, but you have lung cancer. And I was like, lung cancer? That is so crazy, because I've never smoked a day in my life, not even to try it. I've never even puffed or passed. So how can I have lung cancer? That's crazy. So then they gave me the option of sitting down, not sitting down, but staying in the hospital for the week, just to expedite all the testing so that they could figure out what was going on. And that was the first week of September. I was in the hospital, and I was just devastated. So he said, the CT scan shows that not only do I have a 7-centimeter mass in my lung, my left lung, but I also have mets in my liver, and it has had time to spread to my spine. And not only has it spread to my spine, but where the cancer is in my bone, there is It was around my T12 bone in my back leg, so it's like mid back. It is there is a compression fracture on my T12. So not only do I have cancer, stage 4 cancer that has spread to these 3 different areas in my body, but I also have a fracture in my back. And I just cried. I didn't even know what to say or to do. I was just in shock because that was the last thing that I had imagined, fathomed, thought it was the furthest thing from my mind that I would, that would ever happen again. But it was caught because I fainted at church for an unknown reason. And since then, God, like, let me tell you, I have to be real. I wasn't a happy camper the first 2 weeks. I was very upset. And I just cried sporadically. But as time has progressed, the Lord has just been prompting me and showing me that it is well, regardless of what I see or feel, or the diagnosis and the prognoses and everything that I will face during this season. I know that it is well with my soul, and this is the song that the Lord had given me before, when I got the diagnosis of it being pneumonia, that it is well. And at that time I cried as well, because I was just like, Lord, not another thing, not another trial, not another thing that I have to overcome with a smile. Lo and behold, there was something else that was brewing. But you know what? At the end of the day, I have the opportunity to praise God. And I will with every breath that I have, no matter what I face. So at this time, and there's a lot that is going on, and I won't get into the logistics of other things right now, but I just wanted to say that I realize that this is the opportunity to share what I'm going to be going through this entire process of being restaged, re-diagnosed. And actually, when they did the biopsy, because they had me stay in the hospital for the week, and I did a whole bunch of tests, checking different things on my body, my brain, everything. They did a full, body scan, everything. And just so that they could stage it, they could figure out what was going on and courses of action that needed to be taken. And so yes, once everything was done, I realized this was an opportunity to go through the journey. I was very silent about it the first time, and this time I have an opportunity to let everyone in and share as I go through this diagnosis. So I will be recording videos as often as I want to. I'm not gonna be too strict on it. It's gonna be however often I want to do it. So yeah, I figured I might as well do it now, because I just started losing my hair because I started chemo already. I've gone 3 weeks of chemo, and last week I did radiation. So this week I'm off of both treatments. Thank God for that. I have a week of rest and I start back chemo next week. I will be doing 6 months of chemotherapy to get the tumors and stuff to shrink, I guess, is the goal at this point. And then as things shift, change, go on, I'll be updated as to what will be happening and what I will be doing. And the main things I think that have changed between the last diagnosis to this diagnosis is me. I've changed. I've become a different version of myself in my mindset, because I realized that the first diagnosis, nothing changed with my eating, nothing changed with my lifestyle, nothing changed. Everything just happened to me, and I felt like I didn't do my part in trying to prevent cancer from returning, to be honest with you. And that's where I hold myself accountable. There's another piece to it where the health, with regards to the healthcare, that I won't get into in this video, but that is also something else that I've realized and noticed with this journey, that the healthcare in certain areas is lacking, and I'd like to talk about that as well. So I will be updating as often as I can and sharing on my YouTube page, Authentic Grace. I created it 2 years ago when I did that first video. I wanted it to be a space where I shared like music and different things that I wanted to share, but then it became just like this thorn in my side because of course I am low-key, high-key a perfectionist, so it just became such a place of judgment for myself, and I wanted to be excellent and perfect, but the point was to be authentic. So it kind of flopped. So I haven't posted on there in like in a while, and it's been like at least a year, because then life just smacked me in the face and things happened, and I was very stressed and very busy for the past year, which I'll get into what all that stuff is all about at another time. But I just wanted to share my life with you guys because this is real, this is happening, this is what life is about. It's not just sharing the good testimonies or the bad, it's sharing everything. And I want to be as honest and present as possible, and especially during this season, because it is not going to be an easy season. It has not been an easy season. Just how I feel in going through this diagnosis again, this has been harder than the first time. I realize now that the first time was a cakewalk in comparison to what I'm experiencing in my body right now. But I will, with every single breath, give God praise, give him thanks, because he is faithful. And I don't know what you're going through. This is my journey. And I hope this will be our journey together as I walk through cancer yet again. But I hope that you will take my hand and walk with me, and know that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, that he can give you peace, he can give you hope in the face of the worst things that you go through in life. And this will be the second best worst thing that ever happened. I'm declaring that right now because I know the impact and the shift that happened with the first one. Now there's another shifting that's happening with the second one. And I just want to give God all the glory, honor, and praise, because this is the opportunity, this is the catalyst, this is everything. This is my life. This is it. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I'm going to leave it all bare, and I'm going to share and let God do what he's going to do. I don't know who needs to hear this and who's going to hear this, but I know I'm going to be obedient and follow the cloud. So follow the cloud with me, guys. I love you so much, and thank you for sitting down and listening to this 18-minute video. We out here, we done, we finished. We about to go pray and give God the glory and everything, because I woke up, literally washed my face, and came in here and did this video because I felt it needed to be done today. So stay blessed, be encouraged, and God has got you no matter what season you're facing. I love you guys so much.